Wonderful co-host. Sawyer, you look so pretty. How are you?
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
Sawyer, you were just wonderful today. Sawyer called me, screaming at me, I'm not going to help you. I don't want to help you. And she hung up the phone on me. You did.
Where do you come up with these stories?
Remember we were talking on the phone today?
I remember. Do you remember?
Did you scream at me?
I never scream at you. I talk at you.
Don't talk low. You
Softly
scream.
and gently.
Well, I believe you screamed at me. At least in my head it was. Ezra doesn't scream at me. He hits me. Ezra, my wonderful legal consultant. How are you, Ezra?
I'm great. How are you, Heshy?
You know, today I made a video, and I'm sorry, but I offered your services to Governor Cuomo.
For the right price, it's fine.
The pig is not going to pay anyways. But Governor Cuomo, bye-bye, baby boy. Bye-bye. We're going to talk all about you today, and I'm hoping my friend Christopher Messi calls into the show because this is the biggest Cuomo hater of them all besides me. But we're going to have a wonderful show today. We're going to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about that vaccine stupidity. I did make a video Friday going down there trying to get $100. They didn't want to give me the $100. There's a whole bunch of things that they're going to mandate us in New York City. I'm going to talk to my legal consultant because I want to tell you people out there. Today I got a call from a friend of mine. Matter of fact, I don't want to tell you, he's one of our advertisers. And he says to me straight out, Heshy, I'll show you videos. They can force their way in. They can come in. The answer is they can't come in. And maybe they could. We're going to find out from our legal consultant today. And you can call into the show, 718-289-0070. Sawyer, what number can they call?
718-289-0070.
I'm going to ask Ezra, but he doesn't know. What number, Ezra, can we call in?
This should be interesting. 718-289-0070.
0070.
We can call into the show, ask any questions, any legal questions. We have a lot of other issues that we're going to discuss from around the country. Now, Sawyer, and I know, Ezra, please be prepared. Tomorrow there's a rally at 12 o'clock in the city in front of City Hall. We will be protesting the mask mandate. So be on call because they will be coming to arrest me.
You got me on speed dial, right?
I know. What speed dial, Ezra? I call you at 9 at home. Anyways, we're going to start our show tonight. And who is going to be paying for this show tonight?
We have High Tech Web Group. Have you been pushing off remodeling or creating a website? Well, now you don't have to any longer. Let High Tech Web Group's team of professionals construct your site with skill and precision. You can reach High Tech Web Group at 212-235-2777. That's 212-235-2777. Check out their website at info@hightechwebgroup.com. Call High Tech Web Group. Ooh, somebody's calling them already.
I know.
Call High Tech Web Group today so you can experience a whole new world of business. 212-235-2777.
Jaime at High Tech Web Group. You're wonderful, Jaime. 212-235-2777. By the way, you can watch this show on YouTube and Facebook. I've been posting the links to all my sites, always online, so you can click on the link or watch it and just go to Just Enough Heshy or the Just Enough Heshy Show. And you can also email us at justenoughheshy@gmail.com with questions that I can ask during the week or even be advertising on the Just Enough Heshy Show. And enjoy yourself at justenoughheshy@gmail.com. You can watch us at justenoughheshy@gmail. Who cares? At YouTube, Just Enough Heshy. Twitter, I have Just Enough Heshy. Facebook,
Just Enough Heshy.
you get Just Enough Heshy even on Instagram, and my most famous place that people love
never
me.
be Just Enough Heshy.
There can never be Just Enough Heshy on TikTok. But next on the list is one of my favorite auto leasing places, guys.
Plaza Auto Leasing. They are not only a leasing company, but also a dealership. You get the best of both worlds, the flexibility to lease or buy any vehicle, make or model, combined with quick service, huge inventory, and easy approvals. There is no finance manager to meet with, just a friendly pal, Plaza Auto Leasing sales representative that can handle most of the transaction from start to finish without you even having to step foot in their door. All you have to do is place your order, and they will even deliver your car right to your door. What are you waiting for? Become a pal and call Plaza Auto Leasing today. 718-975-9000. That's 718-975-9000. You can also check out their website at www.plazaautoleasing.com. Located at 2750 Nostrand Avenue on the corner of Nostrand Avenue and Avenue N. Call 718-975-9000 and become a pal today. And don't forget to tell them Uncle Heshy sent you.
I just want you to know 975-9000, 718-975-9000. They're really very good, very professionals. People, they give you good prices, clean, nice cars. I love them all. Tell them Uncle Heshy sent you. And then we have Green Line Building Solutions. Now, I just want you to know, Soy,
Preservation and development.
Before you read the commercial, I want you to know DOB this week started coming down again hard on the people. I was chasing a few of them. I didn't post commercials on it. They went to somebody's house and said, you dug a hole in the back. The guy says, I didn't dig a hole. I
make up stuff.
He says, I saw somebody screwing plywood in the backyard. I said, he's trying to level his grass. So he put fake grass there because he doesn't want to put it on top of the dirt. Then he says, oh, since I walked in the back, you put on a gate and you cracked your sidewalk. I said, it's private property and it's connected to the neighbor. I said, it's a one-family house. They don't need to have the backyard as egress. He gave them a violation, a hazardous violation for $2,500. And it keeps going and going. They keep fining and nobody's stopping them. And that's why I'm upset with Congress.
Why not? Why not? Us taxpayers, we're bottomless pits.
Right.
They could just keep digging into our pockets. Why not?
I had a guy who was leader. You know what a leader is? So a leader comes down from the gutter from the top of your house. And Ezra, please, because you're a new homeowner. So the leader wasn't connected into the waistline. The reason is because it was clogged. So he was cleaning it out and he walked away. The inspector came and saw that it wasn't connected, but he saw the missing piece there. He gave them a hazardous violation. I said, what hazardous? Well, if it rains, it'll spill over into the street. I said, are you crazy? Then he comes back the next day. He says, oh, you still didn't connect it. I'm giving you another violation. But he says, this time I'm giving you non-hazardous. I said, that's foolish. If you would have given me non-hazardous, I could have cured it without a penalty. But these guys just learn to punish us, learn to come after us. And Mr. Kalmanega is missing. And when I was talking to a bunch of politicians the other day, you know, they had a night.
Maybe he's on a secret mission.
All the police around the country were making, little visits with the local community, and one of the politicians were telling me over there, well, Heshy, Kalmanega not missing, he's just busy doing stuff. I said, I don't know where he's doing stuff, but he must be busy, really
Heshy,
busy.
you're really busy all day long. I don't see everything that you do.
Well, we have a write-in.
I mean, aside from all the videos that you post, I don't see everything that you do. You do a lot more than what you show us.
And I told it to them too. I said, I have secret things. I have abused women. I have secret stuff. So my point is, Kalmanega on November the 3rd, you know, I was laughing with I can see that they say everybody's telling me, Heshy, what are you doing? Write-in ballot, you have no chance to win. You know what? Maybe not.
That would be fun though. I think everybody, I'm telling you, I think a day before the election, we should just put, or on the day of the election, we should put people by every single post. And just for fun, remind people that they could write your name in.
Well,
you just write in Heshy Tischler, and let's see who's more popular.
We're gonna spread the word. Green Line Building Solutions, 718-871-0382. All your building needs, I'm fighting them. They're getting harder.
All your violations, any problems that you have, anything to do with the Department of Buildings, contracting, preservation, development, fire department tickets. Anything that you have for all your building solutions, 202 Foster Avenue. You can reach Green Line Building Solutions at 718-871-0382. That's 718-871-0382.
And then we have Mr. Super. Can you tell me about Mr. Super? You can't tell me about Mr. Super.
I sure can. He is just super. And he takes care of all your super needs, or whatever your husband promises to do and didn't take care of. Go ahead, Heshy.
Mr. Super,
take it away.
When you have a building and you don't have a super, it's a smaller buildings, you hire independent supers like him. They come in 2-3 times a week. They take out your garbage. They keep the building clean. If it snows, they come and they shovel it for you.
So 1 second, hold on. You just said they arrange to take out your garbage?
They do the garbage, they sweep, they clean, they mop the building.
So they'll put out the garbage cans?
Garbage cans, and they make sure that the place is up to code, cleanliness, not to get tickets. And if you get a ticket, they're responsible. Plus, they can renovate apartments. What's their number, Sawyer?
Their number is 718-218-5555. That's a really easy number to remember. 718-218-5555.
They're very good, and they do renovations, and their prices are wonderful, and they're licensed. 718-218-5555. And then we have my favorite lawyer on the whole planet. He's sitting next to me, calling for any questions. He might be taking on Governor Cuomo's case, so we won't like him if he does that. We're gonna go
You'll
against
steal
it.
him. You'll steal off me.
I don't
What's
know.
that? You're saying that he might defend Cuomo?
Yeah, we have, because Cuomo's an idiot, and you need a good lawyer because Cuomo is a dead meat, and I want Cuomo really, what is it called?
Impeached.
Indicted. I forget impeached. He's
He
being
needs
impeached.
he really needs
We're
to be
going to talk
indicted.
about that. I have
Convicted,
we have inside
indicted.
information.
We'll talk about it.
Ezra Levy, do
You can reach him at 917-755-1187 if you have any criminal tickets, C summons, or
Arrests.
arrests,
DATs.
or anything that you get into trouble for that has to do with criminal. You can call him, you can text him, you can WhatsApp him, send him pictures of your tickets or the papers that you got.
I'm embarrassed. sorry.
917-755-1187. That's 917-755-1187.
Did you see his email? What's your email, Ezra? Another long.
Ezra Levy Law Firm at gmail.com. That's EZRALEVYLAWFIRM at gmail.com.
Ezra, couldn't you just make it a little easier than us? I know all your
Yeah,
lawyers have
just
to.
enough, Heshy?
I know you charge per letter, Ezra, okay? 917-755-1187. And then we have my favorite barber. He cuts my hair. He sings for me. Today he called me. You know, Ezra, he's very upset. And you got to tell him the law because he doesn't know what to do now. Do they wear masks? How is he allowed in? Does he let people wait in the store? It's just crazy again. Bergs Barbershop, located at 108 Avenue I. Go ahead, my beautiful
You can
co-host.
reach Barber's Barbershop at 718-758-5187. That's 718-758-5187. Or call, text, or WhatsApp Baruch personally to schedule your appointment at 347-845-9131. 347-845-9131. The official singing barber of Heshy Tischler.
And then we have Traveler's Choice, 212-868-8698, Yossi and Devorah Leifer. All your travel needs. We're going to open up
A to Z.
A to Z. This country is going to open up. Call him, prepare it. He's good for cruises, plane travel, hotels, car rentals. He's wonderful. He helps with refunds. He makes sure that the airlines don't screw you. 212-868-8698. And then we have, now listen to me, are you ready, Esther Ezra? I know you're my lawyer, James Meadows. I actually got a ticket. It was been postponed since 2018. Ezra, you know, if I miss the day, they're going to default and they can arrest me.
Yes,
you know that.
Attorney's
you'll
Office
suspend
of
the
James
license.
Meadow, highly ranked traffic lawyer, former criminal lawyer, dedicated to all moving violations throughout New York State. James handles all points-related moving violations in New York City, Long Island, and upstate New York. All the people that are up there in the country. Speeding, red light, cell phone, stop sign. I always feel like I'm going through the stuff that Heshy does. Stop sign, failure to yield, and improper traffic turn offenses with stiff penalties, including huge fines, points, increased insurance rates. He'll take care of all your tickets. You can reach James Meadows, 845-TICKETS. That's 845-842-5387. He is your best chance of beating your traffic ticket.
And I want you to-
845-TICKETS.
I want you to know, I gave him a whole story on the car was, I was driving down 65th Street and you can only make a right turn from the right lane. But the sign is small, it's halfway down the block, and when you get to that particular corner, you are, there's no right, the arrow is not there, it's way before. So if you end up at the red light where you can't go anywhere, you can't go straight anymore, there's a cop sitting there watching you at the red light, you can only go right. Left means you can't even go left because it's like a completely different directions. So if you're stuck in the left lane, you can't make a right turn, if you make a right from the left lane. So what I did was I put my blinker on. There was a truck double parked. So I had to go around the truck and I ended up in the left lane. There was a car before me. So he was stuck. He got into the right lane in front of me.
I'm going to tell you about another street. I'm
But-
sure you know
but
about
wait a
it.
minute, wait a minute.
Ford Hamilton Parkway and 36th Street. It's like two lanes, but you can turn out of the one on the left side. And the one on the right, they painted an arrow. You can only turn right. The problem is that people are lined up to turn left. So you have no middle lane.
Right.
And they, at one point last year, they were just standing over there giving people tickets.
I know.
Trying to give. I actually
But-
weaseled my way out of it. I started telling him, "You're not giving me a ticket for." First of all, there's a space where you
Okay,
can move
we got
over.
it, we got it.
No, they look to find you. They choke you, this
the way
city.
James was explaining to me, the story is not the story. It's not going to work anyways, and most of these cops lie. He knows, he reads the ticket, he knows the code of law, he knows the way to actually win the ticket by seeing the what's it called, the
Prima facie case.
The prima
Prima
facie
facie.
case. He does it. He knows how to break them down, and he knows how to win them. And he really has a great winning record. 212, not 212, 845 tickets or 845-542-5387. And don't forget our show, Just Enough Heshy. And don't forget, guys, HeshyTishler.com still exists. Don't forget, I am going to be still trying to cry for the write-in ballot. Don't forget, Heshy Tishler. Support me.
Practice writing his name.
Right.
HESHYTISCHLER.
We're going to start our show, but I'm going to give you a quote, and then I'm going to play a little comment from some animal. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light, by Aristotle. And I want you to know we had our darkest moments last year when Cuomo and de Blasio came after us. Now the light is here. Cuomo, God, you know what Cuomo said last year? You know what Cuomo said last year, Ezra? I want you to hear this.
There is no God.
Right? There is
no God.
It gets better.
Baby, you know you're guilty, Cuomo, but it's not God, it's all you.
Yeah, I'm saving the people. God did not do it. Fate did not do it. Destiny
You did it.
I did it.
He really did it this time.
You did it all to yourself.
He really did it this time.
Yeah. So, so now I just want you to know, guys, I'm going to be talking to Ezra about this, but the mandate of being forced to take the vaccine, it cannot be mandated on you. I just want you to know that. It can't be mandated. It can't be forced on you.
It's experimental.
It's not even experimental, but if you listen to Mr. Cuomo himself, listen to what he says.
Mandate vaccines because these vaccines are approved under something called an emergency use authorization, EUA. And by law, you can't mandate a vaccine approved under an emergency use authorization.
So, Ezra, you're going to answer this. So they can't mandate it. So 2 questions. Question 1, so they can't force me with the vaccine, even though Mr. de Blasio is now saying, if you don't take the vaccine, you can't go into certain shops. If you don't take the vaccine, you can't go back to work, and a government employee must take COVID tests and wear the mask, which you just heard from the governor himself. It's not legal. Now, part number 2 to my question is that how could you ever even consider? I mean, you hear the law itself. How does even de Blasio have a right to do this? I mean,
so let me answer a couple of things. Both of them, you could, as illogical as it sounds, you could have legally. I think the governor was correct. You can't force people to take you can't mandate vaccines until they're approved by the FDA. Everything here is
so really, once they're approved,
that's a different story.
You can force me?
The same way that you could be forced to vaccinate your children and immunize your children before they can at the schools. There is a public health interest that might outweigh your personal right to say I don't want to have a vaccine. However, this is an emergency use vaccine, has not been tested for enough that the FDA can make actually any determination. I've spoken to a friend of mine who is an infectious disease doctor. He would not recommend taking the vaccine, not because he's sure if it works or not. It's because he's not sure if it works or not. Unlike other vaccines, we have no data to understand what the long-term effects are, what the side effects could be down the road, because everything is done in an emergency use.
You mean
which is
down
exactly
the road, or not? Because not a few 100 million, a few billion people have already taken this vaccine around the world.
But they've taken.
I don't see them dropping dead.
Thank God. Some people have had nasty side effects.
Well, that's every
Plus,
vaccine.
we also don't. Well, yes and no. We also don't know what the long-term side effects are going to be, and because we haven't had a chance to study it. So based on that, the FDA cannot mandate it yet, because first, as I said, the FDA has not sat down and made the decision whether or not they're going to say that this is a safe vaccine. other than just for emergency use.
I don't know how much you trust the FDA. I
don't
mean, they
trust-
work
I-
for,
I
they work
perso-
for the pharmaceutical companies, not for us.
I personally don't trust government, but that's my own.
But
That's my own.
even-
And also, the
But at the same
vaxxers
time-
are infecting
No,
other people. They're infecting people that were vaxxed and non-vaxxed.
Well-
People that got the vaccination are infecting both vaxxed
but-
and unvaxxed people.
Soya-
But the point of getting the vax is not to infect
No,
other
well,
people,
okay,
but they are.
Okay, let us
but
talk.
to go back to your second issue, is now we have to focus on the mayor. The mayor,
The
technically
only
speaking,
city in the United States, not
That's
state.
right.
He's sick. He can't do
well,
that.
that's right. Okay, so there's two things. First of all, to say that if every state legislature or city legislature, and I keep saying the word legislature, decides to vote and pass a law that we're gonna require, make health mandates before somebody could enter a public arena, a public store, that's something, that's a different question that's separate from taking a vaccine. You don't want to take a vaccine, no, we're not going to let you in the store. However, I don't see anything constitutional that allows a mayor to make laws that punishable by anything more than even a civil fine, but definitely a criminal fine. The mayor does not have that power. That's my biggest issue with all these executive orders. You had De Blasio doing it, you had Cuomo doing it, you had Murphy doing it, you had governors all over the country. They cannot they're not super legislatures, and for the most part, most state legislatures got paid last year to do nothing. Definitely in New York, our legislature just voted to give Cuomo, king-like powers, and then say, we're authorizing you to do whatever you want, and then we'll come back after, we'll come back and tell you, congratulate you later, and pat ourselves on the back. That's unconstitutional. The mayor, the legislature legislates, they pass laws, and the governor signs them into law. That's not. It should be first grade civics class. But
if you guys want to ask a question, you can go
So-
onto YouTube and ask a chat question. But you know what, Sawyer, why I'm upset with you right now?
Why?
First of all, you didn't give a shout out to my granddaughter Mira Nava.
Mira Nava, Lila Tamar,
they took her-
Sergeant Peters, who I've never met, Dove and Shani Heikind, and my beautiful Shoshana.
And my boy Ellie, but I want you to know
Or boy
something. They took my granddaughter Mira Nava to somewhere in Jersey or Delaware, so I haven't picked her up this week. I have a full carload of lollipops, Ezra. If you need a lollipop, come outside. Red or blue, Ezra?
I'll take one.
Of course. I'm going to finish the rest of it. So I miss you, Mira Nava, but I want to tell you something. You forgot to let me say my joke. Oh, thank you so much for letting me go ahead. Ezra, you better laugh today. I was thinking of retiring. You know that. My kids will think I'm crazy. So I decided to fulfill my lifelong dream, and I'm thinking of moving to Florida. So as part of my preparation, I visited my doctor to pick up my medical records. The doctor asked me how I was doing. So with a little shea, I said, I reported, a litany of symptoms, my aches, I'm stiff, I'm not quick as I used to be, and so on. The doctor responded, Heshy, you have to expect things to start deteriorating. After all, who wants to live to be 100? And I looked him straight in the eye. I said, anybody who's 99. What an idiot, But the worst part is that when I had
I hope your doctor's listening.
He is. Don't worry about it. But I had, many years ago, I had a surgery, and I was laying in bed, and I got a phone call, and some charity representative asked me to take part in a door-to-door fundraising effort. So I replied, I'm incapacitated. I can't go out. Undaunted, this caller kept trying to convince me to change my mind and volunteer. Interrupted, and I said, listen to me. I'm incapacitated. Do you know what that means? And then she said back to me, and she hesitated, it means your head was cut off. Okay. I thought it was funny at the time. Anyways,
Very funny. Funny.
Anyways, so that is the stuff that we're going to talk about. But now here we go into my favorite part. I actually was talking to many politicians, people in the Assembly, people in the Senate. They have yesterday they had a big conference. I'm telling you private information. They had a conference. They are starting articles of impeachment against Governor Cuomo. They are starting the impeachment. Within 3 weeks, The paperwork will be ready for the vote. I'm telling you, Governor Cuomo, according to, I mean, people are screaming, why is it going so slow? Well, that's your legislators. But you're talking within 5 weeks, Mr. Cuomo won't be governor. Now, what he's doing now is he's trying to call different legislators, different assemblymen and senators to try to stop. Again, you need about 150 of them to vote.
You need 76 of the 150 to vote to impeach.
So he's trying to pitch them not to go after him. But even the president told him to resign. Even the mayor,
Even the ice cream holding president.
right, even the mayor. I mean, of course, the mayor did, but you see how double crossing the mayor is. 1 minute he's on de Blasio and Cuomo's side, next minute he's not. This is a mayor who has no honor, who has nowhere to be there. And I want you guys to know.
Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I really, the two of them, the mayor and the governor, need to leave together.
Right. Well, the mayor is going to be leaving
They
in 4
can
months.
hold hands and leave
Here's
together.
my problem. You know, the two new people running for mayor, which I like courteously well, don't wear masks. Now, this guy, Eric Adams, why doesn't he open his mouth and say something about Cuomo?
I wouldn't know who to vote
Cuomo or
for.
about de Blasio?
He should say, no, but de Blasio now is supporting him. Him and de Blasio are new
Right,
buddies.
so-
Heshy, who are you going to vote for? Sliwa or
Sliwa, not even a question.
not even a
Not even a
question?
question about it. I'm going for Sliwa. And
I don't know. I'm missing a little warmth
by
from
the
him.
way, this
Sliwa.
time,
You want Fuzzy or you want a mayor?
No.
no, but by the way,
Why? What's his name is not fuzzy.
but hello, by the way,
Nothing fuzzy about him.
When Governor-
He has a fake smile.
by the way, when
He
Governor
stabs you in the back. He smiles at you in the front and stabs you in the back.
We
Current
got you.
mayor.
We got you. By the way, when Governor Cuomo gets impeached, the lieutenant governor becomes
Right.
governor.
Smile bigger. You're so happy when you
I'm
say,
so happy.
when the governor becomes
It's
impeached.
not if, it's when. And you know what? There's going to be people jumping into the Democratic race. I am going to actually go out and get myself a few hundred or 1,000 signatures. That's all I need.
You gonna run?
I'm going to put myself on the ballot. Why not? Why not put myself on the ballot
Actually,
for
it's a
governor? It's a cool idea, and I'm going to pitch it. You know, why not? Everybody should go out there and put their name on the ballots just to piss off Governor Cuomo. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. By the way, I was and when
Could you imagine the mayor who literally sent undercover cops, for a chicken comment,
Right.
To your home? Could you imagine the look on his face if you ran and wrote down? He went to go and have you
But he's running
to come
too,
after you.
He's running too. He's going to
not.
run.
He's already announced that he's thinking very strongly.
Yeah,
about
well,
it.
he has zero
He's
chance.
thinking very. He
I
doesn't
think
think.
he probably got more votes in Wyoming than he
You know who my favorite governor is? DeSantis. Today,
DeSantis, yes.
I love him.
Okay, you read the comment that I
I don't know
picked
him
out.
personally. I want to hug people like
Okay,
him.
but Christopher Messi is going to tell you that DeSantis, he told Biden, I don't want to hear a blip, whatever, you know what I mean, about COVID from you until you do your job and secure the borders. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. We have people coming in with corona.
Yeah.
He's letting them in on our dime, a lot more than a dime, but he's letting them in, and then he's barking at us about corona. You can't. He's a hypocrite.
He
It's
is.
worse.
He's a politician.
But the problem with the vaccines is that we're pressuring people before. Like the other day, and I'm embarrassed to tell you, my mother-in-law took the vaccine shot number 1. Then she was supposed to take number 2, and my nephew forced her and screamed at her she has to take the shot. So they talked my son Yaakov into taking her, and he tricked her to come into the car. She got in the car. She says, I don't want to take the vaccine today. I didn't eat. I don't want to take the second shot. She's 80-something years old. She's healthy, everything. I don't want to take it. They wouldn't let her out of the car. They were forcing her to take the vaccine.
Ooh.
They took my kids and my nephews, and we all screamed and threatened, you better let her go. And they took away her phone. I said, you better let her go. So it's not only my family, but if it happens by my family, how many other people are being forced to push this vaccine? Now, here, Mr. Ezra Levy, here's my question to you. According to the law, which is a stupid rule, you must have a vaccine card or passport,
Right.
to walk into a show.
To what
and-
the store-
No, to any store, to a gym,
A restaurant.
to a restaurant,
Yes.
to any place. That's crazy. First of all, we lost half the
But
businesses
how
closed.
hard is it to get such a
Well,
Well,
card?
I will
Just
tell you something.
this-
I can tell you that when
Just New York, they're
I can
doing
tell
it.
you
That's crazy.
From speaking to many people, friends, family, non-lawyers, lawyers, it's so easy to forge these things. I mean, when they opened up the basketball games to everyone, they opened the sports arena. So many people are forging them. Trust me. Half the people who go into
Okay,
the
so hold
stadiums
on.
these days with these cards.
Did you
they
hear what
sign them
happened at the
themselves.
Canadian border?
Where do you get the card?
Did you hear what
That I
happened
don't
at the
know.
Canadian border? They
That-
were arrested for forged
Well, that's-
documents.
well, that's gonna be the issue.
Right.
That's gonna be the issue. So
You're
you
gonna
have to be
people
very
getting
careful with it.
arrested.
But
You
is
have
it
to be very
illegal?
careful
Is
with
it
that,
illegal?
yes.
I went to my doctor.
It's
I took
100% illegal
so,
to do
wait a
it.
minute. I took my shot. It's why I took my shot.
Wait, to forge a card?
It's not a card. I got my form. Then I took the shot. Now I have to go apply to the city, and most likely I'm going to have to pay a fee to get this card. Right? I'm going to have to pay a fee to get this vaccine card. When I got my shots on a
Sorry.
piece of
Well,
paper by my doctor.
You need to take a
Right.
stand. I
No,
think
but my-
every single business needs to take. I'm sorry, Heshy, you went around. You're not planning on getting arrested for everyone again, especially, you know,
Right.
I'm sorry, the ingrates, because, you know, afterwards you're too loud. And I'm telling you this right now. If there's going to be a food shortage, you're really going to have serious problems if we have to show a passport to walk into a grocery store. Imagine
I think-
there's going to be a short. We had to stand on lines. We could only get one box of tissues. Toilet paper was out. People are going to be running to the stores. The people that have the passports and people that don't have it, if they're elderly and they can't take the vaccine or they're immune compromised. This is insane. You're making an insane world even more insane. It's not acceptable. People need to stand up, because if everybody says no, then guess what? They can't do it.
We got you, Soy. Now I want to ask Ezra this foolish question. Ezra, I own a store, a business, an office, whatever. The inspectors come to my door. I'm telling them not to come in. Can I stop them?
That's an open question.
Don't tell me
I'll tell you the
license.
reason.
That's
No,
not fair.
I'll tell you the reason.
He's paying rent, or he owns the
Time out.
building.
Okay, I have a
Trespassing.
question. The thing is this: all stores, you have, by definition, a store is open for the public to come in. So you really can't stop an inspector from coming in and enforcing the mandate, because you're inviting the public, which includes law enforcement, into your establishment when you do it. Now,
What if they're
as part-
interfering with your business?
That's not an issue. It's still, again, you're giving them a license. Like the general public is licensed to walk
To
into
shop,
to
not
enter your
to-
store. If you walk into the store and just look around to see what they have, you're not planning to buy anything. You're still allowed to do it.
I've seen store owners going over to people. I've seen videos. I've seen different places. I've seen I've seen it actually in person, where somebody was told, you know, I need you to please leave my business. You have a right to ask anyone to leave your business.
Yes or no? It can't be discriminatory, and you could.
I'm not
do it with
being
the reason.
discriminatory about
That-
blacks and whites and yellow
Right.
and orange.
I don't care what color they
Right,
are,
but I don't
or
want-
how they
And
identify.
I don't even mind if a police officer comes in to shop. The second he comes in and suspects something and tries to do that without a warrant, and they write on these papers, a warrant, it's not right, Ezra. You can't do that.
I mean, there's two things. I think that it's going to be very hard to enforce, not just that. Because the business owners are going to be unfortunately taking the brunt of it, like they did the last time around, because it could be really putting the onus on them to make checks.
Do I have to
But
let
the
them
problem
know?
is,
One minute.
I think the bigger problem is a civil rights issue, is a medical privacy issue. My medical history is not anybody's business, but between me and my
and
doctor.
I walk into a store. You want to give them your date of
Right,
birth
that's
and your
exactly-
name?
So-
Ezra, no. Why should a waitress know about my medical history?
Absolutely, that's where I agree with you 100%. And honestly, a police officer can't ask you, show me your papers. This is a country where, you know, a sheriff or a border patrol agent cannot ask somebody for papers.
Halt!
We don't
Show
ask for
me your
in this country.
papers.
We don't ask for papers in this country to show that you're allowed to be here legally. That to tell me that I have to give you federally protected medical records. That HIPAA is a federal law. My medical history is my medical history. It's nobody else's
So
business.
Ezra, here's my question to you, Ezra. You and I know that this is the way you said civil rights and federal laws. Here's the deal: we all have a problem with the minorities. Minorities are discriminated, whether we want
Correct.
to believe it or not. They're discriminated
Right.
against. You and I know that a lot of the minorities, especially in New York, are not going to take the vaccine.
For good reason.
So whatever reason it is, the point is now we are actually discriminating against a minority
That's a
coming
great
into the
point.
store.
That's a great
so
point.
now they're going to sue or scream. And the other day, a guy who was working at Burger King had colonoscopy bag. You know
Right.
what that is?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay, a colonoscopy bag is somebody who cannot really go to the bathroom, so they
Cannot
put
relieve themselves, so they have to have a bag
a
attached.
bag attached with a thing. He got a job at Burger King, and the manager called him in and said, "Listen, man, you have to tuck in your shirt." And you know what? He didn't tuck in his shirt. He said, "Well, I have this colonoscopy bag." He says, "You can't work around food with feces. You can't do that.
You need to cover it.
You not cover it. You can't bring feces next to food." So they fired him. He's suing Burger King for firing him. Now you're telling me that these minorities that we're going to, for sure, that are allowed to go into Burger King and all these places are not allowed to come in because they didn't take the vaccination shot, and they're going to say, "Hey, no, it's discrimination."
Well, again, this is the problem with this whole mandate. There is no legal basis, and one of the few smart things that I think Cuomo has said in the past year and a half was what you played at the beginning of the show. There is no legal basis to force somebody to have a vaccine today. Again, until the FDA approves it, and until the state legislature passes the law, and the governor signs it into law, even for a state, there is no right to do it. And a mayor is a mayor. He's not the state legislator. He's definitely not the FDA.
So if there's no emergency,
So if there's now, the question is, are we in an emergency? Yes, we are in an emergency.
No.
But that doesn't mean
it expired.
the emergency is continuing. They'll restart the emergency. That's not the real issue. But emergency use does not mean an emergency mandate. There's a very big difference between authorizing something for emergency use, which means even if it hasn't gone through the proper testing or the proper protocol for testing, we're still going to let you market this, use this as a way to deal with the health,
Question,
health
Ezra,
crisis.
I have a store.
It's not a law.
Ezra, bottom line, answer yes or no. I'm standing at my register. A police officer or department buildings or department health walks into my store. I see them. I want them to leave. Do they leave, and do I not, or I can let them not come in? Is that a fact, yes or no?
I think the answer would be no. I don't think you could kick them out. The thing is, I don't think the bigger issue is going to be this: who's going to get fined, right? Are we going to fine the business owners because they didn't do the protocol of checking first? I think that's a very dangerous issue because again, you're now civil. You're imposing penalties, could be criminal, even civil, that haven't been authorized by a legislature, and plus now you're theoretically making every business owner a state actor and enforcing something. There's no precedent for that.
And you know, there's
zero precedent for that.
55%, I think it was only 43% of the police that were vaccinated.
Yeah,
So
and
the
this
other
whole thing's ridiculous.
55%, half of all city workers are not vaccinated.
Doctors and nurses
again,
don't want to
but
get the
Heshy, I think
vaccine. They're being threatened to lose their
Yeah,
job.
but the
Let's take a
difference is
phone
this.
call.
The difference is this. Before we take the phone call, the difference is they're not mandating what the mayor is trying to do, and I don't think he's doing it too artfully, but he's in an inartful way saying, you don't want to take a vaccine, that's fine, but then you can't enjoy the rights that everybody else has.
You can't do that.
And that's the inartful thing that he's doing. I think that's a very big problem. I think, again, especially that this is an emergency use vaccine, especially that the mayor's doing this without authorization from a legislature, and he's the only one. He's the only one doing this right now in the country. Is going to be a very big issue.
All I
there's
want to know is
Think
Ezra,
about it from this
and if it's a real,
perspective.
and also one more thing, if it's a
Which
real
store
emergency,
owner-
one more thing, if it's a real, I think you could see how ridiculous it is because if it's really an emergency, why are we waiting until September 13th, which is when public schools open up?
And also, Heshy,
He's
if
doing
you
this to
have a
close the public
business,
schools
Right,
if
you
you,
hear this? Did you hear
He's
this?
doing this to close the public schools again.
Right. And I
If-
want you to know something. As
Heshy,
an
if you have a
American-
business
wait a minute.
and
As-
you have limited business, are you going to tell your only customers that are standing over there that want to give you money and give you a livelihood? Are you going to tell them, no, I need to see your passport?
Right.
I mean, why would the store owners even cooperate? Nobody should.
My office is busy. You think I have time to tell everybody as they come in or hire somebody else? But I'm just showing you a piece of paper that I got today. As an American, you have the right not to wear a mask or get a shot. And it's illegal for private businesses to refuse your entry. Federal and state laws protect your right to participate fully in every aspect of society without being discriminated against because of your medical status or religious beliefs. And you can learn about this on your rights to get remedies and resources at www.thehealthyamerican.org. By the way, again, tomorrow there is going to be a rally in front of City Hall. I will be speaking.
What time?
12 o'clock. We're going to be screaming and protesting the masks. Come on down. Let's take the call, Sawyer. We have somebody special on the call. Hello? 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 Sawyer hung up on
I
them.
did not hang up on anybody.
Hello, producer, what line are we supposed to go to? Hello?
Hello, hello.
Hello, we got him. See, Sawyer didn't
Apologize.
Hey, Christopher Messina here. How are you
Hello,
guys?
Hey,
Christopher.
Chris.
I thought Sawyer hung up on you. I was going to kill him.
Of course not. Never happened.
You know, Christopher.
Ezra, you give an excellent Civics 101 first grade reminder to everyone.
Yes.
But, unfortunately, we've had an imperial governorship and mayoralty for years now.
Yeah,
so.
I think they're gonna have to update those how a bill becomes a law.
But Christopher,
videos.
I want to ask you just one question to start.
Sure.
Cuockamo, Cuomo. What are we just? Are we? First of all, does he have to be arrested? He does. And are we not just happy? Oh God! I told you a year ago, Chris, this was going to happen.
Well,
Thank
I
God.
got to tell you, here's my concern. I've been watching this, right, and I'm just not sure because you've got 11 women who have got contemporaneous accounts of his piggish behavior, some with witnesses. I'm a little on the fence because if we could come up with someone that remembered him at 16 or 17, maybe drunkenly fondling her, but no one can remember him seeing her, I'd be more inclined to believe that.
Well, okay, so I mean, I kind of agree with you. But I mean, I know we're all jumping on the arrest him and bandwagon. I think it's going to be very hard to arrest him and to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt, except for the one case up in Albany where you have a victim who actually gave a very graphic account
Yep.
very early on about him grabbing her under her shirt.
Woman,
Yep.
when they went crazy with this crazy, what was that name?
Kavanaugh.
Not Kavanaugh. This porn star that went against Trump.
Yeah.
Everybody said arrest him.
Okay, because
impeach him.
Of course, that's politics.
That's politics. Again, you could, arrest means an
There was
arrest
so
that they
much
could prove
evidence, though, against him. It wasn't coming from just one woman. It was coming from multiple women. And it was not only that he intimidated the people
Right,
that
okay.
they're going to get fired.
Okay, here's the thing, Sawyer. There's a difference between a crime and sexual harassment. And I think that's what a lot of people are making
Oh,
big.
sexual harassment is not a crime?
Sexual harassment is a civil rights violation, which the
Yeah.
remedy is to sue someone.
It's
Not
tasteless
if you-
behavior.
not if you
Don't be a
are-
moron. Keep your hands to yourself.
It's not just keeping your hands.
basic
I mean,
stuff.
sexual harassment's not relegated to keeping your hands. It's also keeping your mouth shut and keeping your eyes to yourself. So I mean, there is no doubt that Cuomo has violated federal laws, state laws when it comes to sexual harassment. I think I read
but
part of
he
the report. I read the
violated-
report,
I got
and
you,
the report's
but he
very clear about it.
violated- I got
I
you.
would say the most important part of all this, though, is that the fact that Democrats have read the tea leaves and decided that he's a liability and he may not win re-election. And so they've decided to get out in front of this
Well,
and claim that, see, we're not hypocrites.
No,
we don't only go after Republican men who are pigs.
Right. Now, I think
so
that-
we're gonna make him a sacrificial goat. But the problem is, Handsy Andy, the street fighter, he's not going down without a serious fight.
Well,
it's going to be awesome to watch.
Look, there is precedent for governors staying on even after you've done the stupid things of being at court. We still have a governor, the same, Governor Wortham out in Virginia, after all that blackface stuff that he's never really taken care of. But when it comes
why
to
would he?
governor-
I absolutely love that. When the Democrats in Virginia realized that 3 people deep, from the governor on down, had all done some variation of wearing blackface for a party, and they realized that the 4th person in line was a Republican,
They
all
said
of a
it's
sudden,
okay.
all of the outrage disappeared.
Right, exactly. So the thing is, when it comes to Cuomo, the fact I personally think that it was the Republicans in the state legislature you have to thank for this process because they realized what happened in Kavanaugh. They were going to and when Kavanaugh was going through all this garbage, and when Trump was going through all this garbage, the Republicans were saying everybody's entitled to due process. So this whole thing was a due process charade. There was no doubt that the report was going to come back as damaging as it was yesterday. There really were no surprises in the report, other than just the sheer number of accusers. But as far as what's going to happen now, he's going to be impeached, and I think what they're going to offer Cuomo is, they're going to offer him the same deal that they offered Spitzer when he got caught: go away night quietly, and we're not going to arrest you, because.
Yep.
Technically, he could be arrested for just on her word, on any of the accuser's words alone that he touched them inappropriately. Those are enforceable touching is a Class A misdemeanor for which it's a class A
Yeah,
misdemeanor
but
for which the penalty.
without witnesses,
the penalty
it's
is-
never going to go anywhere.
You never know, but the penalty is up to 1 year in jail or 6 years probation, but you are a registered sex offender.
Wow.
So that
Right.
and considering the circumstances, he's gonna be he might be on a level 2 or 3, not just So again, we're talking about the same thing they told Spitzer is be quiet, walk away, and we'll let go. And he's honestly done a lot worse than Spitzer did.
Chris, what do you think about this new mask mandate? What's your opinion on that? That we have to start wearing masks no matter what?
You must show me your papers, yeah. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And it just speaks to the fact that New Yorkers need to vote these clowns out. First off, ignore this insanity, right? Living here in the last free state in America, it is literally like watching a documentary about Soviet Russia looking at New York right now. It is ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Ignore it. Everyone just ignore this crap.
I know
Who can
that.
care?
But
It is ridiculous.
And if we don't, I want you to know we were on the brink of collapse. We're starting to come back. We opened the city. He's actually now people are for sure who are starting to pay rent, who are starting to make money. We're dead. We're dead meat, and there's nothing we could do about it.
I think that's going to be the crux of all this. All these mandates are going to do. You're going to be closing the small businesses again. The big businesses are not going to come back. They're going to, people are going to stop coming to work again, and it's the city suffered economically worse than you could imagine, and this is really not the right thing for it. It's worse than the virus. It's worse than the virus itself.
Unprecedented, and these tin pot dictators who all want to be king turd on crap mountain. They love Cuba and Venezuela. They love it. The rational Americans look at them and hear them talk about. I mean, that idiot at the 1619 Lie Project. She was on the news a few weeks ago, going on and on about Cuba is the most equal country in the Western Hemisphere. I was like, baby, can I buy you a one-way ticket? Go.
Yeah, well, Cuba is the most equal country in the world.
Bet.
Everybody gets nothing.
Everyone gets nothing. Everyone gets nothing. Terrific. And you listen to their words. I remember arguing with people back when Barry Hussein Soetoro became president, and they were surprised at the socialist racist he turned out to be. And I'm like, did you listen to him? He didn't lie. I'll give Obama the most 100% credit. He never lied. People didn't listen to what he said. He meant it. He meant everything that he did, and he said it on the campaign trail, and everyone listened and heard something different than what he meant. So if people just listened to the left, they'd realize, wow, these clowns mean this.
You see, you're so right about our leaders. Biden sits there. I mean, he's president. No matter what we want to say, he's president. The man has not led the country. He's writing bills. He's writing orders. He has not led this country. He's not gotten up and unified us. Told us to be peaceful. Spoken to, he goes, says, okay, Cuomo resign. Why doesn't he tell the New Yorkers what to do, what to stand up? We're going to have a lot of people right now. Again, we went through this crazy riots with the Black Lives Matter and all these crazinesses that were going on. Now we're going to go right back to that after we stop it. I just want you to know, Chris, 10 people were shot in Queens the other day. Shot on the street, boom, 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 boom. And 4 guys on bicycles could just do whatever they want. You're talking little kids, 17-year-olds, 15-year-olds getting shot and killed. And people in cars sitting there.
And you want to know why those cowards felt empowered to do that? Because they knew that the people they were shooting at weren't going to shoot back.
Well, that's not true.
Those clowns do not do that here.
No, actually, I mean, unfortunately, we live in a city where everybody's shooting themselves. I have the CompStat numbers in front of me from last week.
Go ahead.
Just shooting incidents in New York City from between July 26th and August 1st. There were 34 shooting incidences. There were 49 shooting victims that week. In 2021, the numbers were
a week
in 1 week. In 2021, no, I'm not talking. I could give you Chicago numbers if you want, but New York City is.
You must need more gun control. That'll help.
No, we need more cops on the street because 900 people were shot. 900 shooting incidents in 2021 as of August 1st, with 1,057 people getting hit.
Wow.
And
What
that-
you need are your Second Amendment rights restored.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know. So people were telling me from England, they said, you guys are great. You have that Second Amendment. You have the gun. And I keep telling people that I'm against it. But now, you know what? I'm getting nervous. They are roaming the streets. They could come into
The
our
biggest
stores and
lie
houses.
Jimmy Carter ever told, and he told a lot. The biggest lie Jimmy Carter ever said, he is the one that coined the phrase first responders. As the sheriff that trained me for my concealed carry class said, no, the average citizen who's standing there when something happens is the first responder. The police are at best second responders.
I know. I wanted this city to be peaceful. I wanted to go on with my life. They just won't let me live my life. I just want to be left alone like a lot of other people, and they just won't let us live, Chris. And I'm embarrassed. Not only am I embarrassed for our legislators who are now standing up. You have a couple of guys who are running or who have to leave office, like a councilman, Mark Levine. Oh, we have to force them into masks. Jumaane Williams, some stupid public advocate. We got to wear masks. But you know what? His people are not being vaccinated. He's not talking to the black people. He's talking to other people around the city to make his voice heard. But he doesn't understand when all those people, the minority people, are going to get affected to it. He's just going to come out afterwards and say, "Oh, we're all suffering." But you're the one who put us in the position. Mr. Jumaane Williams is supposed to be a public advocate for the people. Instead, he's just looking at his career, and I hope he goes nowhere.
Oh, he's a communist nightmare.
also-
I remember him saying one of the stupidest things of all time when I was still living in New York, and he was speaking about rising rents and cost of living, and I'll never forget it. He said, "How much you make shouldn't determine where you live." Brother, what else does determine
Are
where
you
you live?
kidding
What on earth are you? Oh yeah, because
that's a true
people
communist.
in historical neighborhoods they lived in, it's supposedly somehow theirs, even they don't own the property.
So the
right?
person who never
And the-
works and never does anything, he should live, I don't
Greatest
know,
thing ever.
he should live in the best
I was
neighborhood.
watching-
Greatest statement ever.
And I was
So
watching-
you can't negotiate with these leftists and communists. You give them a millimeter, they take a kilometer.
Right.
The only way this country is ever going to come back is to stand up, declare that individual rights and responsibilities are what this nation was built on, and all this collectivist guilt and collectivist innocence and collectivist thinking has got to end. It is what has destroyed New York. It has to change.
Just one thing is because I think since we're mentioning it, all these mandates that are happening with the you're going to have the vax cards and you're going to have people closing stores again. When there's no stores, people are going to find a way to do. If you can't walk into the store as a lawful shopper, you're going to do it unlawfully.
Right.
And
Yeah.
And the riots that we had last summer are
but
going
we
to
now
pale
have
in
enough data to
comparison.
show that all this economic destruction did not prevent the spread of this damned virus. It was a pointless, stupid exercise in totalitarian control that had nothing to do with public health. And I might almost forgive people in March of 2020 desperately hoping this might work. We have now sufficient data to show that it did nothing to prevent viral spread.
Right.
So everyone should just ignore these clowns and go about their business.
All I know is the holidays are coming again, and he's going to think that he's closing my
You
synagogues.
can't
and
do that.
weddings.
That's the Supreme Court. I mean, that's thankfully as far as I'm concerned, I think that issue has passed. When Cuomo closed the shuls last year and targeted
Yep,
literally
insane.
the Supreme Court thankfully has a 6-3 majority these days.
But he can
that
still make
will
a
do-
new
that will-
emergency.
He can't. If it targets religion, it's going to be you're going to have a problem of strict scrutiny. So once he mentions houses of worship, this
Yep.
Supreme Court has already shown a proclivity. If you see their works as houses of worship,
But you know what
it's
he's gonna do?
automatically gonna
You
get
didn't
the strict
think of
scrutiny.
this.
It's automatically going to get the strict
The
scrutiny.
passport. He's
No,
going to have people coming
can't.
into the
You
synagogues to
can't.
check if
You
the
can't make
passport.
you can't make a restriction. Well,
Well,
first of
we
all,
need to not cooperate.
well, it's not just that. There's we don't carry on Shabbat and Yom Kippur. So but it's also
part of our religion.
yeah. It's but
Exactly.
The thing is you
Ignore
can't.
these clowns.
I mean, I think this time around the shuls are safe. The businesses I'm worried about. My individual liberties on this. Walking into public areas, walking onto a train, walking onto, not that I recommend it for your health, I think that's a health danger itself, but going on the trains, going on the buses, walking into restaurants, that's the bigger issue that, there's going to have to be a lot of litigation about. Unfortunately,
It is
in order to
absolute
litigate,
madness.
you're gonna need somebody who's gonna step up
last
first.
last time he didn't know how to stop us so much. This time he's going to know how to lock our parks. He's going to know how to lock a lot of stuff up and enforce it. I'm scared because we're going to fight back, and a lot of young people are going to get injured. We are going to do protests again if he shuts us down. And again, my councilman is missing in action. I don't know where he is. The city council.
How can anyone be listening to this clown anymore? It didn't have an impact at all. If every New Yorker just ignored
it's
this
not about
idiot.
what. It's not about what. And nobody's ever listened to De
Somebody
Blasio.
wrote something so cute. Most kids today think of civics as a car. Okay. The media is using Cuomo's sensational scandal to distract the American public from the ongoing California governor recall. And the question is, if Newsom gets recalled, who do you think will win the recall?
Elder.
What
Larry
do,
Elder.
what do you think about that? I'm happy Newsom is getting
Yeah,
recalled.
but I think Larry Elder is doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, good man. Look, I just hope that the backlash and the rational backlash against this leftist stupidity is going to sweep these clowns from power, and we're not going to hear about this nonsense again for another 30 years until people have forgotten what communism looks like and does.
No, I'm sorry,
It
Chris.
is
It's not gonna
baffling
happen.
to me
We just elected.
that
I'm
this
just
still
telling you-
has any traction in this world.
But Chris, I'm just telling you now, the city council primaries, over 30 out of the 51 new councilmen are, what's it called again?
Progressive.
The SDA, Progressive
Democrats.
Right, DSA, Democrats, Socialists of America.
Yes.
They are going to take
Right.
office in January. They are going to do crazy stuff, and there's nothing we could do about it.
Because people didn't vote. Because rational
Yeah.
people didn't vote.
Yeah.
And that's
God
the
help
lesson
us.
here.
Yeah.
It is appalling. I mean, we left. We left New York the night that idiot Warren Wilhelm Jr., Comrade Wilhelm, won the mayoralty the first time. I looked at my wife and said, I'm done. We're out of here. That 14% of registered voters bothered to go vote, and a majority of them voted this clown into office. And I can almost forgive that as a mistake, because in that same election, right, Carlos Danger was running for a little while. Client number 9 was winning for a little while. So at the time, this buffoon commie sounded like maybe okay, but there's no excuse. After 4 years of watching this act, you all reelected him. There's no excuse for that.
That's
none.
agreed.
Well,
None.
all I know is he's gone. I'm so happy he got his due. I don't know, de Blasio, I want you to know you're next. I know you might be able to serve out your term, but something's going to happen. We're going to get you. You know, de Blasio did take bribes from this guy, Mr. Rechnitz, in Los Angeles, and his cousin over here.
Of course he did.
De Blasio has to be investigated. I wish I was in city council, because I would have started a committee. I would have started an investigation against him. De Blasio has to go down. But again, de Blasio made a lot of deals, and a lot of these councilmen are just putting stuff in their pockets, making, stuff, getting ready. So when they retire, all of these guys, they're going into private practice, and they have all these
drives
people
me
that owe them
crazy
favors. Yeah.
is there so many smart, capable New Yorkers who just don't bother to pay attention to local politics, because they just think, it's just it doesn't have any impact on me. It has every impact on you.
Right.
Every dollar you pay in New York City taxes, 19 cents of it shoots right out the door to someone who retired already. So you're literally getting 81 cents on your dollar for city services. When I was there a couple of weeks ago driving down 10th Avenue, it was like driving in Beirut. It was nuts. The potholes were bigger than ponds. It's a disgrace.
Garbage. You even see Curtis Lee. We're walking around Midtown Manhattan. Garbage are being picked up. Traffic. It's just they don't care to run it, but they're still issuing tickets. They're still causing
It's a
issue
nightmare.
problems. I know, and we need somebody
People need to
normal.
wake up and vote these clowns out.
I hope Curtis does a good job. I hope Eric Adams doesn't get elected. Our politicians now who went from Yang now are jumping on Eric Adams' board. But you know what? Eric Adams, you had 8 years as board president. You had 8 years to scream and holler, and you
And
didn't
what did he
do
do?
it. Nothing. Zero. Really nothing.
Nothing.
I liked him. He came into town once. He let us do our testing. But you know what? I haven't heard him scream and holler. Now he's screaming and hollering. I don't know.
You know what drives me nuts? Where's Marty Markowitz? He was the Brooklyn Borough president when I lived in the Heights.
Right.
He was phenomenal.
Yeah, but the thing
he
is,
was great. Where'd he go?
He got term limited.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, can he make noise? Where are the people of principle like Heshy who stood up and said, "I'm going to run"? And even when it is astonishing to me you did not win that vote. It is just astonishing to me.
People are telling me that there is something wrong because I was talking to a few of the politicians and they said they knew I wasn't going to win. They knew how the votes are going to be coming out. I'm not saying that Trump is right. I'm not saying that I'm right. I don't want to come up with conspiracy, but I do believe that the Board of Elections and these machines are controlled, and they do control who wins what the leaders do control, and I'm not happy. But again, if I would have had a majority of people coming out and screaming and hollering, but again, only 5,000, 6,000 people out of the minimum, usually 15 or 20,000 that came out, only 5,000 came out. I don't. There's nothing for me to scream at. If we would have had 15,000, then we could have stood up and screamed and hollered, but we didn't do that. Chris, we're shutting down the show. I just want you to say,
Great to see you guys.
I just want you to say goodbye. Can you say goodbye to Cuomo?
Adios, arrivederci, bonsoir. Don't let the door. Actually, let the door hit you on the way out.
I love you. All my listeners out there, Christopher Messi's a wonderful boy. I'm going on his show, by the way, maybe tomorrow or the next day.
That's right.
And
Messy Times. We're doing it great. We're going to do a great talk.
I have a perfect one for Cuomo. Godspeed.
Very good. Thank you, everybody, for listening
Good
to the
night,
show.
everybody.
Good night.